So this is the first question for sum of functions, remembering that the domain of the sum of f plus g will be the domain of f intersect the domain of g, which in this particular case is all real numbers intersecting all real numbers, so the domain is all real numbers. I'm going to do zeros first, because when you add 0 to something, it's the other thing that you're adding it to. So 0 plus 0 is 0, and I have another 0 over here at 2, so that's going to be that value there. Okay, I don't have any other zeros. I can see that both curves here are at y equals 1, therefore my addition will be y equals 2. In between here, I'm adding two numbers together that are both positive, so I'm going to be above the curve. And in between here, I'm also adding two numbers that are positive, so it's going to be above the curve all the way through here. I can see that this height is around about 1 point, at this point here it's about 1.2, so it's going to be 1.2 higher than this. So around about there. And this seems to be at 1. So therefore, at this point here, we're going to be exactly 1 above. So I think we've got enough to indicate that this is what the curve is going to look like. And since this is now negative, it's going to be lower than that number there. I'm adding these two numbers together, so I'm going to be about there. Going to be 0.5 above this, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be this much above this, I'm going to be there, so I'm going to have a curve that looks like this. It's always above those two curves. And two positive numbers. So I'm going to be always above these two numbers. There is a 0.5 and about a 0.3, so I'm going to be about there. That's 0.5, so 0.5 higher than this is going to be about that, and we're going to get higher again. So that's what my curve's going to look like. I can't draw nicely with the tablet, but roughly that's the graph of f of x plus g of x in the first instance. Looking at the second example, we're adding together this linear to this quadratic. So my end result will be a quadratic. This has the domain of all real numbers. This has the domain of all real numbers. Therefore, the domain of h plus k will also be of all real numbers. Okay, so I'll look at my zeros first. 0 plus 1 is 1. 0 plus 3 is 3. 0 plus 3 is 3. This seems to be the lowest point here, which is -1. So -1 below that is there. And so, since I have a parabola, that's going to be nearly 1 unit below, so we're going to be up there somewhere. And I think that we have a parabola that looks like this. That's what my curve's going to be. I could possibly get rid of those bits there. They're a little bit too low, they're all those, and then that's what my curve's going to look like. Okay, so that's going to be the graph of h of x plus k of x.